Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is Thursday, May 25th. You got it, 2023.
That's correct, and it's going to be Anthony and Andrew and Blair.
That's right. We have a very special guest today.
Yeah, hang around. Blair Rodman is going to be coming in, author of Kill Phil, poker World Series bracelet winner. We're going to talk some old day stuff.
That's right, and this is our first guest. So welcome Blair in the studio.
Okay.
In the house.
So, first of all, a little bit of news.
Yeah, we got some, I like this one. I'm really excited about this one. You know I am.
Of course you are. see if the audience can figure out why.
Okay, so Lexi. If we have not heard of Lexi, Lexi is going to be the first cannabis-friendly hotel in Las Vegas.
Right. We've talked about it before, but now it's opening. So June 1st, it opens the doors. This was formerly the Artisan.
Right.
The Artisan Hotel, which was like this really kind of strange, non-gambling, goth sort of joint. And, well, now it's a new joint, so to speak, because it's joint-friendly.
Yes,
right?
it's a joint-friendly joint.
Yes, exactly. So it's going to be, here's the deal about it, is it's gone through a $3+ million renovation.
Wow.
Consumption is permitted. Now, that's a big thing because you can buy weed here, but you can sell it, you can buy it, from the dispensaries, but you can't smoke it anywhere.
Right.
You got to find a private place. So the hotels, even though, you walk through the hotel, not lobbies, but the hallways, and you can smell it, it reeks,
All throughout the corridor, everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's been decriminalized, so no one's getting tickets for it.
Right, and they don't enforce it, but it's supposedly it's not allowed, but here it's going to be allowed, and I think it's going to be in some of the common areas, but the fourth floor is going to be the one floor that you can smoke, and all the rooms are going to be, what does it say? Consumption permitted in all fourth floor rooms, which are ventilated by a state-of-the-art air filtration system. I hope so.
No, that's not what you want. You want to sit in there. Roll up the windows.
I guess. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see. Notable also, this is a non-gambling. This is not a casino. They won't even have machines because gaming will not allow, at this time, the mixture between gambling and marijuana. So.
Well, this is exciting. I'll definitely go in, take some pictures. We'll see if we can get Anthony to go in and take some pictures as well.
I'll go in with my smoke mask gear.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and this one is a sign of the times. Anthony, Planet Hollywood has closed.
Planet Hollywood, the restaurant.
That's right.
Yeah, not Planet Hollywood, the casino. Planet Hollywood, the restaurant.
That's right.
That's been open for almost 30 years at the Forum Shops.
It was a chain. It was a movie-themed restaurant, and started by Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Bruce Willis, Schwarzenegger, all those guys. It was a big deal when it opened, and it started the themed restaurant craze here in Vegas. I mean, they started coming one after another: Rainforest Cafe, Dive, Hard Rock. Vegas goes through all these different phases, and this was the themed restaurant. But this was the first one. And they've lasted all these years. They had 2 locations, and I guess the second location at the Forum Shops, they went upstairs, and it didn't work for them.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I've eaten at that Planet Hollywood restaurant a lot, and they had a great steak dinner.
Oh, did they?
They had a great steak special.
To me, it was a chain restaurant. We reviewed it once. I think I never went back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, hopefully something new and invigorating will come in.
It's Vegas, man. What do you expect?
Yeah. All right. So this is really exciting. Sports fans getting ready for this year's football season. Circa football competition has been announced. Tell us what's going on, Anthony.
Well, they're doing it again. Bigger and better. Last year, the Survivor contest guaranteed $6 million, and that was a big deal. This year, it's $8 million. $8 million guarantee.
That's incredible.
Yeah. $6 million guarantee for Circa million. This is going to be Circa $1.5 million. It was $6 million last year as well. Other changes. Survivor, you can now enter up to 10 times.
Wow.
It was 6 last year, I believe.
That's
yes.
right.
Now up to 10 times. $1,000 entry fee on both of these. And $1 million is up from 3 max entries to 5.
Okay.
So literally, you could invest $15,000 if you wanted to play both of these to the max. I am not going to do that. Okay.
Are you going to do the full 10? Because I know you did the full 6.
I doubt it. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about football contests, and we've really come to the belief or the understanding that there's diminishing returns in multiple entries. Every time we do it, every year, we have number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, number 5, and number 1 is always the one that goes forward because that's our best picks.
Right.
So the next one we start diversifying. And then we're out. So you're kind of throwing money away.
Okay.
So I'll do one or a couple
Okay.
I'm
But
not
not
sure
all
what.
10.
No, I won't do all 10. By the way, we're going to, we do every year at LasVegasAdvisor.com, we put up the details of all of the contests as they are announced. So go to that page. I think on the screen we're showing 2022, but that's going to be updated starting today with this announcement.
All right, and we'll put a link in the description box below. So, and this is really fun for our show, too, because we track this every week.
Yeah, but, how long did I last week? Last month?
Last year was a rough one. Last year was a rough one for you. This is going to be our third year doing this.
Yeah, we'll see if I can do a little better this time.
Yeah, hopefully. And as we said earlier, we are here with our first guest, almost 100 episodes in, but it took us a little while. So, Anthony, tell us who we have here today.
All right. Well, we've got Blair Rodman is joining us. As I said, Blair's wrote our book, Kill Phil. The reason we brought him in, we've been wanting to do this for a while. We've got to get a better setup for the way we're going to do this. We're not all scrunched in together, in the future. But we had all these questions about Doyle Brunson dying.
Yeah.
And they asked, why didn't we talk about it? Well, we didn't talk about it because he died. We got news of it just as we were about to shoot the show last week. But it's certainly worth talking about. Now, here's the funny thing. Doyle, was like one of the best-known poker players of all time. I've been here forever. I know almost all the poker players, but I didn't really know Doyle at all. I mean, I've been in the same room with him. I might have shaken his hand once or twice. I know all about him, but Blair knew him. Blair knew him well. Blair played with him and against him. Right, Blair?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I did.
I mean, Doyle was Texas Dolly, they called him, godfather of poker, tremendous athlete growing up. Right? Wasn't he like a state champion in the mile in Texas?
He was, and he would have gone to the NBA, but he was working in a sheet rock type factory or something in the summertime, and a pile of them fell on his leg, and that was the end of his athletic career.
Right.
So he went into poker, but he honestly believed he would have gotten drafted and played in the NBA for years.
Yeah, he played in college. Real interesting guy. Number 2 on the list of World Series of Poker bracelets. He won 10. Blair won 1, which is not bad.
Hey.
I had 10%.
That's right.
That was cool. So, a mere 700,000 you won. That was nice. But Doyle won 10. 2 of them were main events. And word is he could have won a third. He didn't want to win the first one, is what they say. You ever hear anything about that?
Yeah, at the time they didn't want the IRS getting involved. They didn't want the money. And also Doyle was from a small town in Texas, and he did not want the reputation of being a gambler, and if he'd have won that at the time, it was heavily publicized. So he just wanted to stay out of the limelight. And
It wasn't the first one, though, was it? Because the first one was Johnny Moss, where they voted. But this is the one they let Slim win, right?
it was the second year, and Slim and
Amarillo Slim.
Puggy and Doyle and Slim, I believe, were the last 3, and they said, you know what, neither Puggy nor Doyle wanted the recognition or the tax problems or anything, and Slim said, I'll take it, and Slim was the perfect showman, and he did, and played it up like he was the greatest poker player in the world, which he wasn't, but he got all the publicity out, and he really put the World Series of Poker on the map.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the other, some more about Doyle. He wrote the book Super System.
yes.
And I mean, that, in my opinion, was one of the first great books. I mean, I guess Sklansky had done Theory of Poker previously.
Yeah, in my opinion, Theory of Poker was better, but Super System was, at the time, Sklansky's books were kind of groundbreaking as far as poker strategy. And then Doyle came out with his first Super System with a bunch of guest authors in different games, and it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
And Doyle, for years afterwards, said, I wish I'd never written that book.
Well, everybody read it coming up. Everybody read 2 books. You read Sklansky, and you read Super System, and I did. And for its time, it was terrific. But he was also a pretty notorious, ruthless road gambler. That's what people don't talk about a lot, is that he went on the road with a few other guys, like Sailor Roberts and
Yeah, and Slim. They used to travel today in the old days. I love the old guys. The old guys were so interesting, and they were fun. They were treacherous, but they were fun. And they had stories, and they were entertaining. And they understood, like these kids playing poker now, that the way you get people in the game that are going to donate money to you is to let them have a good time.
Right.
You know, instead of insulting them and how'd you play the hand against me, and
Like they do today.
You're a donkey. Yeah, and that all started with the internet, because all the internet warriors could say all these things that they would never see the people they're saying to. If you had said that kind of stuff to Doyle or Puggy or some of the old guys, you wouldn't have said a whole lot more words.
Yeah, I think, I mean, from what I saw of Doyle is that he didn't like that. And I mean, I don't know, when you played with him, did they mind their manners? I mean...
Pretty much. It's a lot of the old guys. I was amazed when I came out. I heard of Johnny Moss and Buggy and these guys, and they were kind of my idols. And it seemed to me when I was playing with them, in my early days, that the more famous they were, the nastier they were. And especially to dealers. They would take everything out on dealers. They'd blame the dealers. That started to change with the internet too, because you didn't have a dealer to blame. And it was amazing how, with the newer generation of players that were raised on the internet, they don't abuse dealers, most of them.
Right.
Whereas the old guys were, Johnny Moss was absolutely brutal on dealers.
I heard.
Not to mention Stu Younger.
So, was he?
Oh, he was terrible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We talked about him on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, of all these guys, all these names, Doyle Brunson probably, definitely on the Mount Rushmore. There's no doubt about that.
Well, as long as we have you here, Blair, we might as well ask you, how did you get into poker? How'd you get started?
I started when I was about 11 years old, back where I grew up in Troy, New York, and the older guys were playing, and I got involved in it, and I just kept playing. And then, Troy, New York was a gambling town. There was gambling everywhere. So it was year round. We found different places to play poker. So It was always in my mind to come out here and play poker. It took a little while, but I finally did.
Blair's a very good gambler. I mean, he's expert at a lot of games, blackjack and so forth. He played on the tournament team that I played with Stanford Wong.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was on the original team, and he was actually like the best crap player of all of them. I mean, I was just dismal when I started, and Blair had to teach me how to play it. Blair was the player.
I started out as a crap dealer.
Yeah.
So I knew the game.
Yeah.
And I loved the game. I had to quit the game because I never won.
But I was best man at his wedding.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Doyle and Chip and a lot of the old guys. My wife had, before I'd met her, she was involved with somebody else that was among these guys, and they all knew her. And when they knew we got married, they knew me. I'd been around, but then they knew who I was. And Doyle and his partner, running partner Chip Reese, and all those guys, they were great, and it was fun. And like I said, they were treacherous, but they knew how to let the other people have fun at the table, so you can keep them there and then get their money. So I'll tell a quick story. I was playing at the Mirage, probably in the late '80s. And I'd had a good day, and I was walking out of the poker room, and I look up, and Doyle and Chip are sitting at a table, with the dealer trying to start a game. I said, well, I'm never going to get this chance again. So I just said, okay. I walked up, and I said, what are you guys trying to start? And they said, 4 and 800 Omaha 8 or better. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I knew that Doyle was just learning the game, and not to think that I had an edge by sitting down with them. I says, I just have to do this.
Yeah.
So I sat down. I played them in like 20 minutes. They were friendly. We had a good time and everything. And I looked down. I went about 4,000. I said, okay, guys, this was never going to be a long-term engagement. So this was fun. Have a nice day. And they smiled and said, see you, Blair. This was, have a good day.
Good
they
game.
knew what I was doing, but it was great. I can tell that story now, and there's not many people that played three-handed with Doyle and Chip.
That's pretty cool.
Doyle's not going to take offense.
Yeah.
The old story among players was the money always flowed up, and it always ended up in Chip and Doyle's pocket somehow. Because people would play higher and higher, and they'd run into those two guys, and they didn't win very often.
Well, the other thing is, back in those days, like, there weren't that many great, that the information wasn't out there.
No, it wasn't. So the best players, that's what's amazing about Doyle. He could still compete with these kids who had broken these games down to, just the mathematics of things that no one ever dreamed about in the old days. But he hung in there. He would go. He was, what was he, 89?
89, yeah.
89, up until 3 years ago. He was going down during the World Series of Poker. We would go to Bellagio and play in, the biggest games there, and he'd play around the clock sometimes. I mean, it was really pretty amazing show of endurance.
He was able to pretty much hang in too, really. I mean,
he
playing old style poker against the new, analytical style, the game theory kids, and that sort of thing.
He
right?
did, and he learned the new games. They play all kinds of different games now. And Doyle was competitive. Do I know if he won in the long term? I don't know, but he was competitive.
Yeah.
Good. All right, thanks, man.
All right, and in this next segment, we are going to do something new. We have on Las Vegas Advisor the question of the day, where you can go to daily, but we're thinking about doing a question of the week.
Somebody wrote in and said, "Can we do a question of the week on the show?"
Yeah.
So we said, "Well, it might not be every week, but yeah, let's give it a go."
All right, so and this the question that was written in is actually a really good question. It says, "Can you guys explain the station's casino's new Charms program? Not how it works, but why would anyone bother with it? What do you get? It doesn't seem to be any comps attached to it." What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. In the LVA, when we wrote this up, we wrote WTF LOL.
Okay. Got some acronyms.
Because when I saw that, I was like, what is this stupidity? And I mean, essentially what you do is when you play, you win these digital awards.
Okay.
You can't turn them in for anything. You can't get comps with them. You can't get cash. They're just status things. And I mean, they're banking on the fact that people are going to go, this is status and I want these. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, why would it? Can you believe this?
I play at stations a lot. I have no idea how they work, why they're there. I don't think anybody really pays attention.
They've got a gigantic ad campaign going.
Right.
I mean, they've got billboards, they've got commercials on TV talking about how great this is. You know, this is stuff like, Pokemon Go and Second Life and, the whole NFT craze for a while.
Right.
All this stuff that kind of like doesn't exist, the metaverse, this kind of business. And they're trying to cash in on this. And all it is making you think you're getting something, and it's absolutely nothing.
Right. So, but is it a digital collectible that could go up in value over time?
I don't think
it's just a worthless.
It's just a worthless charm that people are going to be getting like crazy, and really all it is a badge of dishonor. I mean, you win the charm for overplaying.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense at all, but it's just another goofy move by Goofy Station, with this crap.
You can't sell them like NFTs?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Correct me, and I'll come back on. But I don't think there's any chance of value here. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, it would be nice if you could have it, and then it would be, I should say, charming if you could get a charm that would give you a buffet or a free night or something like that, something tangible.
Some of this stuff is just so crazy. I mean, here's a story that somebody told me. I think it was Second Life or something, where there was this, or it was one of these games, and the head status symbol, the pinnacle status symbol was this golden tiger.
Okay.
And if you could win it enough, play it long enough, whatever, you get this golden tiger, or you could pay for it.
Uh-huh.
And the golden tiger cost $3,000. And this guy, who is a gambler that we know, paid $3,000 to get the golden tiger in his game that he played constantly. And 2 days later, the tiger ran away. It ran away and it did not come back. And he was out $3,000.
That's crazy.
What kind of stupidity is
That's
that?
the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I know. The tiger ran away.
That's really funny.
Anyway, so there's your answer. The charm, I mean, there may be something we don't know, but right now the charms look like the dumbest promotion of all time. And if you like them, I'm sorry for what I've just said, but I just see no value in it.
So finally, the jackpot of the week. This week, it is Anthony and Andrew once again.
Yeah, I know. We're heisting it again with our own glory. Actually, we got lots of questions wanting. I talked about hitting a
sequential.
A sequential royal, meaning that it's in order: 10 Jack, Ace, 10 Jack, Queen, King, Ace, in order. So there it is up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It was. This happens. It's a 1 in 3.8 million hands.
Wow.
So it's the first one I've ever had. I doubt I've played 3.8 million hands in my life. I might have. Actually, I might have, now that I think about it. I'm certain I have, now that I think about it. So maybe I was due on this. But it was just, all I was doing was playing a regular 6-5 bonus poker in a bar. It was a promotion. It was a pass the puck promotion, so that's what I was doing. I didn't win the puck because you got to hit a quad.
Right.
But I hit that sequential. And I mean, I didn't even notice. I just went, cool, royal. I love it.
Yeah.
And I looked and I went, wow, first time sequential. So, there you go. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. And I would like to thank you for some good advice that you gave me for my royal, because I had your voice echoing through my head. What I was doing was I was at a place up the street called Molly's, and they had a promotion where if you lose 20, you get 20. Mm-hmm. So I lost my 20, and I was playing my promotion. And I said, well, since I'm playing with my free 20, I might as well play 25 cents, which is something you told me to do a while back. And I did, and I got a Royal.
All right, first one for a quarters.
Yeah, that's my first $1,000 Royal.
Dollars are next. Blair, any great Royal stuff? Except for the time when you walked in and hit it on the third one when I was mad at you and we wouldn't be partners.
Oh, you told that story on the show. That's
We
right.
didn't want to be partners. Me and Mike had been there for days playing it.
That's right.
And I walked in and they said, no, we're not going to be partners. We're stuck into this promotion. I said, okay, I'll play. And I hit a Royal in about 3 hands.
Yeah.
And he didn't talk to me for years.
Oh, I just freaked out. I'm like, how can this be? We were stuck. I don't know how much we were stuck. Blair shows up, and we're like, we're not splitting with you, Blair. We're way down unless you want to take a piece of our our loss. He's like, no. Third, I swear to God, third hand, he hits a Royal. And I knew it too because he's laughing. He's over there laughing. I said, that bastard hit a Royal. I know he did, and sure enough, he did.
Let me tell a quick sequential Royal story. So years ago, I was at the World Series of Poker, and the Players Buffet was upstairs in the Mint. Mm-hmm. And there was a line for the buffet, and I was waiting there, and there was a line of slot machines, video poker machines. And there's an old lady sitting there putting wood quarter in quarter machines. At the time, they had a $100,000 bonus for a Royal in order. And she's sitting there, and all of a sudden the machine lights up. She got dealt a Royal in sequence.
Oh, wow.
With a quarter in the machine, and everybody went crazy, and they're all yelling, "Why didn't you have all the 5 quarters in there?" And she was oblivious, and she was so happy she won $200. It was quite amusing.
You know what? I tell people, play max coin if only for that. I've seen that too, where someone hits a Royal and everybody's congratulating, and then they see that it's short coin.
Yeah.
And it's short coin, and they start yelling at them and calling them names and berating them. So, yeah. Play max coin. So, anyway, Look, man. This is our first shot at a guest, and I think it was fun. We're gonna keep trying to do it, right? We'll figure out who we're gonna bring in and what our setup's going to be, what the arrangement's going to be.
Yep.
And thanks, Blair.
I'm honored to be number one, and thanks, guys. This was fun.
And
All right, first of many.
And look for Blair's new book soon, before football. As of now, it's called All About Sports Betting.
All right, guys, that's it for this week. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Remember, go ahead, leave a comment because it helps us grow with the algorithm, and we'll see you next week.